Hello there. This is day 8 or the end of the second week of training here for the winter training log. Today was a power endurance day again, which means I did another round of 6 and 6, and I have a lot of stuff to get through. So let's just go on to the clips here, and I'll start letting you guys know what I thought. Alrighty, here we are moving into the first climb. So every climb that I did in this session was a V5. I did 3 different climbs. And if you're unfamiliar with this workout, 6 and 6, basically you're doing a climb or a number of climbs 6 times, and you're basically starting it on the top of a minute and then resting for the rest of the time. So for all these climbs, you're kind of aiming for climbing for 30 seconds, resting for 30 seconds, basically. So you're obviously seeing only the climbing side. I've edited out all the rests, but you'll see all the reps in order. So this here is the first climb I did. It had a cool little dynamic move at the beginning and then a little crimp techie sequence. This climb is a little bit too easy. I think that's going to be a very common sentiment for the session is I just felt it was a little bit too easy. I felt like I got worked really hard for the last set, but not very well for these first two. But real quick, let me back up. So before I did these sets, I did actually do some max hangs, which I did not record. I did 6 sets of 10-second hangs with body weight plus 40 pounds on 20 mil edge. And then I did 2 minutes rest in between those sets, and that felt really, really good. The last 2 or 3 weeks, I've done 35 pounds, and then I finally thought that I was ready to up it to 40, just if you feel where I'm at, and it felt pretty good. Tiny little bit of pain in the pinky, but nothing too bad, so I think it's overall pretty all right. But yeah, right here, you're seeing this first climb. I think it was just, like I was saying a bunch of times, a little bit too easy. I was really just cruising through it each rep. I mean, even this campus section, obviously you can tell I'm getting a little bit slower and a little bit more sloppy with it, but I was still just fresh and, going through it pretty easily. So here we are already on rep 6 of this first climb, and I didn't really have too much of a scare for this climb. I kind of breezed through it every time. So yeah, and then here he is coming in with the second climb. This one was a bit more interesting. Basically the first and the last moves were by far the hardest in my opinion. Big dynamic movement. But in the middle part, you can kind of just cruise because I can keep this heel the whole time because I'm tall enough. This move is pretty wild. We kind of just gotta step up super tall. So yeah, the biggest thing that I'm going to try to implement is possibly either starting with a V6 or changing it so that each set starts with V6s and then goes to V5s. Maybe within a set of 6 reps, I go 3 V6s, 3 V5s, or 3 reps of V6, 3 reps of V5, something like that. Because I think that the way I'm doing this right now doesn't really work the best. And I'm sorry about doing this one vertical. I didn't realize until after I'd already done the set. But yeah, it's just something to think about. And then also, I think the biggest thing is just I need to have some more climbs dialed. Because I think that if I have a couple of V6s dialed, they're going to work a lot better for this workout. Because this is the biggest problem, is that all these climbs I'm trying, I've never tried before. Which, I mean, the problem is that then I'm falling because I don't really know the beta, or I'm learning the beta to the first few reps instead of, just executing and falling because I'm tired. It's kind of goes a little bit backwards. It kind of goes a little bit against what I'm supposed to be doing in the session. So I think if I could somehow have some rehearsed climbs to go through, it'd be quite nice. Some rehearsed 6s, because I think I could do this with 3 V6s and do pretty well. But it's I literally only fell one time, and it was on the last set, which is not right. I should be falling way more. So yeah, I think this was just a little bit too easy. But again, you learn. So yeah, this is only my 3rd or 4th time doing this set. I just took that as a whatever and I just put it back on. Yeah, this is literally only, I think, my 3rd time doing this workout, so obviously still gotta learn. It's just a slow battle to just learn about it and how to progress. But yeah, other than that, I'm trying to think of what else. Oh yeah, so after this, we're doing the last climb, and that was kind of it. It was a decently quick session. I mean, with the max hangs, it did take a while because I wanted to make sure I was super warmed up. and then took a good like 5 to 10 minute rest, and did a max. I took a good 5 to 10 minute rest. Like I was getting pretty pumped out. Oh yeah, that was all squats, I think. So after the first set, I did 6 and 6, and the second 2 sets, I did 7 reps, still on the minute, but just because I feel like it wasn't really challenging me enough, so I went ahead and did 7 reps of these second 2 climbs. This climb I really enjoyed. This one I thought was much more the difficulty I should have gone for. This one felt like a much harder 5, even though it was still within a similar style as the last 2. It felt much harder. Maybe because it was the last set, which I think is probably what it was, or just because it was the last set, but yeah. And yeah, the camera was getting a bit screwed up here, but yeah, just cruising through here. This is a bit less. This is the first time where I've actually like gotten a good recording of this session, so it's a bit interesting to try to figure out what to talk about. I feel like with projecting it works so much quicker because I'm not recording quite as many sessions and they're not all the exact same thing. So yeah, I mean the interesting thing about this, about the way that I'm doing this protocol or for this workout, is that since I'm working one climb and I haven't really worked it before, you can see that my beta slowly gets better each rep and each rep, which is kind of a cool thing to see, you know, how my problem solving improves. But at the same time, you know, it's like that shouldn't really be a thing to worry about. It should just be executing the beta that I already know. It's like those first few times I did a super powerful like bump over, where here now I realize I can just switch feet and just hold that swing well. You know, in this move, obviously I can sink lower to hold that swing versus, you know, just being too high on the holds. So it's kind of interesting that, you know, I'm figuring that out. I like guys a G for that. Every time I drop down, it moves the camera a little bit farther up, but, you know, you're getting the point. You know, you're only missing the first move, which is really just not too bad at all. I believe this one here is rep 5, so, you know, I'm starting to slow down here for sure. But I'm still pumping them out, still, you know, with only 25 to 30 seconds of rest. And it's like, see, this is where I'm getting really pumped. So, I mean, I need to be getting like this like every set. I think the biggest thing is going to be just, yeah, upping the difficulty for those first few sets is going to be really, really key. In terms of, you know, getting what I'm trying to get out of these exercises, because, yeah, this just felt a little bit too easy. Here you can see on the 6th set, really, really struggling. And then finally here in the last set of the day, I am just beyond pumped. You'll see. I'm like, you know, just rock through it and get this last set. And I'm just like, he's right here. Yeah, I just blew off the whole, my fingers just opened up completely and I just had no chance. Yeah, that was the session today. I mean, I pretty much brought up everything I wanted to bring up within that breakdown itself. But the only other thing I want to bring up is that I'm going to be going on a little trip this weekend leading into the beginning of next week. So I probably won't climb or make another log until at least Tuesday. Either Tuesday, if not Tuesday, maybe Wednesday or Thursday. I really don't know where I'm going to be at in terms of my schedule. But yeah, so far, I'm not going to climb till at least Tuesday, maybe even Thursday. We'll see how that goes. And then, yeah, I'll be back for probably 2 weeks or so to finish off these last 2 weeks of this training block. So this trip is obviously not ideal, but it comes at a decent time where, like, I'm able to get a good, what is this going to be, 5 days rest pretty much. Because, yeah, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. Maybe not Tuesday, so maybe just 4 days of rest. But I think that'll be enough to just fully recover and be able to just kind of go straight at it again next week, which is kind of nice. I mean, obviously, it's not ideal. It's not ideal to lose training time, but I think this will be a good time to take a little break after these first 2 weeks, because obviously this is the first time I've really committed to such a rigorous training protocol. So it's good to kind of take a step back and make sure I'm not amassing too much systemic fatigue and being able to, you know, kind of offset that and still get really quality sessions. So yeah, I mean, other than that, I've been feeling pretty good this session. I kind of just want to like reflect on that because, I mean, it's the end of the second week and it's the end of basically before I take a little bit of a longer rest. And I think that although I started off feeling pretty fatigued between sessions. I think now I'm starting to feel really good. My my last session on Tuesday, I think I went a little bit too long. I was there for a while, and I think I'm kind of, although I was recovered, I kind of could feel it at the end of that session. I went a little bit too long. So I think that's just the biggest thing, is just don't go too long on the sessions. But I mean, if I can just stay true to that, then I'm pretty much all right. Like, it's really not that bad. I just gotta stay to my timers and stay to my minute, like to my protocol, and then I'll be fine. I think I have plenty of rest and rest days scheduled in. So yeah, that'll be kind of the end of this first 2 weeks, and I hoped it was interesting going along with the journey. I'm really happy to be back. I had an idea when I come back to maybe do some of the finger strength tests just to see where I'm at. I'm kind of curious to try that. I was thinking about doing it probably at the end of this block before I go back to school, but I might do that even now, just as like, I just want to know, it'd be interesting to see. And I feel very strong right now. I feel the strongest I've ever been, I think, for sure right now, which is very good. This is definitely working, and I feel like I'm definitely getting like results I can see, which is really, really cool. It's really cool to see quantifiable results for once, where I do a similar protocol every week, but you can see how those grades increase, how reps increase, how the weight increases on some of these different hangs and stuff. It's really, really cool. But yeah, that's all I had. How are we going?